up, everybody? Thanks for tuning in to the second episode of Fowl 41. I'm your host, Sean Ayers.
Clayton Roberts.
Derek Oliver.
And our special guest today is
Danny Smith.
Danny Smith. Danny, if you don't mind, tell these guys who don't know much about you who you are and what's up.
My name's Danny Smith. Been duck hunting pretty much most of my life. Decided to do the 41 just off of boredom, I guess. I didn't really think much of it when, I saw a couple of my friends doing it. I didn't think much of it, and then I started getting into it, and it just became a passion. I really enjoyed, the challenge of 41, making myself get out of my own box and go different places and do anything, because I'll stay home,
right.
And it,
right.
it gets me out of my little box that I'm in, makes me go out, makes me chase these ducks, and it's been definitely an adventure.
You hit it pretty hard, huh?
Oh yeah, I hit it pretty hard.
Yeah.
The first, I've been doing it for 3 years, and I'm almost done.
Right,
and
right.
I've been hitting it hard as I can.
Right, for sure. How did you get into waterfowl hunting?
My father he loved waterfowl hunting, and that's what we did. He'd wake me up against my will. And when I was a kid, I wanted to stay at home and eat Fruit Loops, what Power Rangers.
Yeah.
But yeah, we'd go waterfowl hunting, and he was very passionate about it. And then I've always enjoyed it.
Nice.
any type of shotgun sports.
Right. Yeah. Nice. What drives your obsession of the Fowl 41 of the 41? I'd say.
Honestly, it's an ultimate achievement to where I can get out of my box and go do things that I normally wouldn't do, and go see places I've never seen before. I've seen some of the most beautiful places and hunted the most beautiful places on earth.
Right.
Places that I would never have saw had I hadn't got out of my box, and it's the thrill of the hunt. It's not necessarily the kill of the bird, which that's a lot of it. I'm so ecstatic when I kill a bird that I can register, but it's going to these places like, God, this is so beautiful, and I never would have seen it without the 41.
Right, and I've heard through some stories that sometimes the chase of the 41, when you go on these trips, the scenery is just as as thrilling as the hunt itself.
Oh, it's beautiful. The places Absolutely. That I've been and getting there, we've drove a lot of places that we went to. We drove to Washington. We drove to Boston. We drove to New York.
Right.
We drove all these places, and it's just seeing country and animals, and I've seen bighorn sheep just sitting up on a ridge. We just drive by, and they're like, "Hey, what's up?"
Yeah.
It's like,
nothing. Yeah.
It's like, was that a bighorn sheep? Speed goats just walking out in front of you like they don't care. Like,
Right. That's awesome. That's okay. Hey, don't worry about it. It's okay.
What is that?
What was that noise?
Is that the ice cream truck?
Should we restart?
No, that's fine.
No, we just edited it out.
Yeah,
We just
that's
edited
part
it out.
of it.
Yeah.
I don't know what that was.
Anyway, it's the drive. It really is the drive. It's the getting there, getting set up, the excitement for the hunt. Like when we went to hunt king eiders, I'm not very plane friendly,
Right.
But I made myself get on
Right.
the plane. I made myself sit on a plane for 8 hours, and it's me telling myself, I'm going to go do this. I'm going to do this, even though I'm not comfortable.
Kind of get you out of
planes.
comfort zone.
Yeah, and even getting on the little plane to
Yeah.
St.
We'll get into that for sure. So this podcast, like I said in episode 1, I want to focus on bringing people in. In your case, you're almost finished with 41, so you're going to be one of the more experienced people that we bring in on here. One of the segments that I'm really excited about, and I'm going to leave it up to you. I want to touch base on 4 of your favorite species. And I have a few questions to ask about each species, but the main question is, I'll let you pick first. We'll start with 1. What was your number 1 that you shot so far?
If I had to guess, it would be the king eider.
Yeah.
It'd be the king eider, number 1. To see that amazing bird in its habitat, and to go out there and you're in 20-foot swells in the middle of the Bering Sea.
And where are you hunting them at?
St. Paul Island.
St. Paul.
Went with Charlie Somerville, which was just an honor in itself to be able to hunt with a legend like him.
Right.
To go out there, and kill those birds, and that's a totally different monster. You're in 20-foot swells going up and down. I mean, you have to spread your legs all the way up against the boat, bend your
Rest
knees.
yourself.
I mean, you might as well be trying to kill birds jumping on a trampoline.
Right,
So
right.
I mean, second, probably the second greatest hunt I went on was the New York hunt with Glenn Braun, excuse me. He was just an excellent guide. He put us on brants. I got to kill. I had a once in a lifetime opportunity to kill a red-breasted merganser,
Nice.
and that was. I mean, it was just a once in a lifetime opportunity. One bird came in, just decoyed, like
Nice.
spread open, and you're like, "Happy birthday!" And the killing of the brant, the red-breasted merganser, the trip to New York. Third favorite bird, like I said, is harlequin. I think there's not another small species of bird like that is that beautiful.
Right.
It's got blues and greens and blacks in there. I mean, it's just so beautiful bird, and the white just really sets off the browns in it, and it's just an amazing bird.
And that's your.
Yeah, I was about to say that's the one I'm after. That's my favorite.
Yeah, that's it's a shame you can't kill them in the United States no more. You have to kill them in Alaska. I mean, I guess that's part of the United States. But
Yeah.
you can't kill them here. You have to
Right.
go to Alaska. When I killed mine, I killed my first one in Washington State.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And we'll touch base here in a minute on each hunt. You tell us a story about all those here in a minute.
Yeah, and then I guess last but not least was, I guess the Kansas hunt that one of my best friends took me on. He called me up and he said, "Hey man, you need a common merganser, don't you?" And I was like, "Yeah, I need commons." He was like, "Well, they're on the river here in Kansas.
Nice.
It's froze up, plenty of commons." I was like, "Man, I want to go." So I went, and geez, man, it was just a wonderful hunt. It was just merganser after merganser after
Nice.
mergansers, and they look like mallards, but they're just so humongous and white. It was
Yeah.
just beautiful.
So let's touch back on your eider hunt. Tell us the story. Tell us the story behind all of that. I went down from the start to the end.
Well, we booked the hunt through UWC, which is who we do the 41 through, and we register our birds through. And we booked the hunt through UWC, and everybody paid their money. And then me and a good friend of mine booked the hotel and booked the airfare there. And it was a waiting game after that. And we waited, and finally the day came. We went to the airport, 8-hour flight. It's funny, we went into Dallas.
Brutal.
We had a gun. We had our shotguns all in one, went into Dallas, and they were like, "Stop us at the door. Don't you come in here with those guns." So then they took them, and I think the most naive thing I seen was them swab the gun looking for gunpowder, and I was like, "Bro, it's
a gun."
But yeah, and then they, and I suggest to all hunters who do put their guns on an airplane, please put an air tag in your gun. Please put an air
Smart.
tag. That
Yeah, that's
way
a
you
good
can
idea.
see that gun go on the belly of the plane.
Yeah.
Smart.
And if it does
Absolutely.
get lost, you know where it's at.
Right,
you know?
right.
The air tag is a great tool to have with you. If you're going to carry a gun, please break it down. Take the actions out of it. It saves you time.
Right.
A gun that doesn't have an action in it can't fire.
Right.
So and they appreciate that too at the airport. So we go to Anchorage, Alaska, and
So you fly from Dallas to Anchorage.
yeah, we fly to Dallas. Took 8 hours. Flight was phenomenal. It was a great flight, even though I'm not comfortable
Right.
flying. Flew there, no trouble at all. Got off the airplane, got our weapons, and went to the beautiful hotel. Can't remember the name to save my life. It was a beautiful hotel, and stayed there for 3 days. Did our rounds and did
Yeah, checking
sightseeing
out.
and
Yeah.
stuff
Yeah,
like
for
that.
sure.
Went to some great places, and it's this is December. So there's
Cold.
snow. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
cold. Snow up to your neck, and it was just amazing. Well, time comes for us to depart to St. Paul Island, and we get on the small plane, and the small plane is, and me, and inside I'm screaming like a cat in a cage. I'm trying to hide it because I don't want to be that guy.
How many people can fit on that plane?
There was 10 of us on that plane, I believe.
So small.
And
That's
it was
tiny.
small, and we were packed.
Yeah.
And
All the gear,
yeah,
you,
and
guns.
all the gear and everything in the plane. So we fly an hour and a half to the coast, and I can't remember what little town we stopped in to refuel, but we refueled there, and it was cold, and they were like, "Well, we got to wait. Something broke down on on the airstrip. The ice remover broke down on the airstrip at St. Paul Island. So we got to wait. So we're sitting there on the coast waiting.
Were y'all waiting in the plane, or were you inside the hangar? Like inside?
No, we were in like a hangar.
I got you. Yeah.
And we were waiting, kind of messing around. It was warm in there. And then he was like, "Let's go." And then we get on the plane and start heading that way. And it was a smooth flight all the way through. And I asked the guy, I said, why do you have to refuel before we go and cross the ocean in Bering Sea? It's only an hour and a half. Surely this plane owns more fuel than that. And he was like, well, if something happens like it normally does on St. Paul Island, the weather can turn like that.
Right.
And he says, we have to turn around and fly you all the way back to Anchorage. Oh. We can't take you to the halfway point. We have to fly you all the way back to Anchorage. And I was like, well, good point.
That makes sense.
Yeah, good call.
Plane works a lot better with fuel.
Yeah, you're like good call.
We're coming around, and he's, our pilot was first class. He landed on a sheet of ice.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. And then we get off there. Charlie Somerville meets us. But when we're flying in and we're landing, I look over, and there's an ambulance with the lights on and everything. And I thought, oh, what the hell?
What the
hell did I fly into? And it's Charlie Somerville. He bought an ambulance. So it's just,
nice.
Yeah, just for nostalgia, just for looks. And, we board that and get out there. And then.
So did he pick y'all up in the ambulance?
He picked us up
Nice.
in the ambulance. I thought it was funny. And got all of our gear, got settled into our rooms. And Helen, his wife, made us dinner when we got there. We had 3 meals. I ended up getting sick off some food that they made one day. I guess weak stomach. And then.
So did they have a lodge and everything?
Oh yeah, they had a nice lodge. Held 10 people. 2 people slept in a room, and it was nice accommodations. There's a few things I didn't like about hunting with Charlie. A couple of things I did. I mean, he's a legend. The guy started it.
Right.
The guy, he is
the OG.
He's the OG.
Yeah.
He's the beginning of the end of that hunting there.
Right.
There's a few things I didn't like, but he's the boss.
Right.
I mean, hunt with him. We would go hunt, and we still had plenty of daylight, plenty of time to hunt, and he would pull us in.
Right.
I didn't agree with that, but of course it's not my show.
Yeah.
So, shooting out there. The first morning in King Iders.
How many days were y'all out there?
We were on St. Paul Island for 4 days.
4 days? Hunted all 4 days?
Hunted all 4 days. Well, I didn't. I hunted 3. One of the days I was sick. But, I mean, the amount of birds that were there was great. Harlequins, scoters. You got your white-winged scoters, your black scoters out there, old squaw, king eiders for sure, beautiful. And I was lucky enough to take a big bulbous king eider, a beautiful bird. I showed you a picture of it.
And I'll get that picture and I'll attach it to the video. So
it was one of the most beautiful king eiders I've ever seen in my life. I was lucky to take it.
What's the hunting conditions like out there for those who haven't been?
Well, for us, we were extremely lucky. Usually the conditions out there is snowy, drizzling ice. Your gun's going to have to beat the ice off of your gun. For us, it was fair conditions. Nice. We didn't struggle a lot. Wind was high. Of course, you're on the Bering Sea.
Right.
And then a couple funny moments out there is I was eating Dramamine because I looked.
That's Clay's best friend.
Clayton's going to need some of that.
Before we went out there, I was like, all right, Mama Smith didn't raise no fool. I'm going to go look. So I walked out there, and sure enough, I seen the C's, and I was like, nope, not this. So I started eating Dramamine like they're M&Ms.
For those who don't know about the Bering Sea, just think of Deadliest Catch.
I was just about to say that.
Deadliest Catch.
Yeah, and the funniest thing is everybody's going, oh, you sissy, you big sissy, you're blah, 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 blah. I look over about an hour into the hunt, and I look over at all the boats that has people in it, and they're all puking off the side of it. And I'm just giving them hell. I'm
Exactly.
And they're all just puking off the edge of the boats. And even with Dramamine, I almost got sick.
Right.
Chris, you'll have him on here soon, but Chris has a funny picture of me going,
we'll be sure to attach that on his episode.
He kept me from puking a couple of times, but that was a dream hunt. It was great. The conditions were very good. The hunting staff that he had was first class. They put you on birds, tending birds. The seas like that. I mean, Harlequins, eiders are a tough bird to kill.
What are y'all hunting out of?
We were hunting out of just regular old 16-foot boats. And then they had some Zodiacs.
Okay, yeah.
Some people were, but the people who were coming in with Zodiacs were covered in ice.
Right.
And I was like, no,
No thanks.
no, thank you.
Yeah.
That's not my bag. And then I ended up replacing my Harlequin in St. Paul Island. I was very thankful to
Nice.
replace my Harlequin
Nice.
because, and that was actually a blessing because when I lost my Harlequin, I was devastated.
Oh yeah.
So,
yeah.
so I lost.
How'd you lose it?
we went on a hunt in Washington State, and the guide there was very nice gentleman. We went on a hunt there, and I shot my Harlequin. I shot a Barrel's Golden Eye. I shot something else. Oh, I shot my Greater Scott in there, and that's a funny story too. I'll tell you that. So we shot all these birds, and I shot my surf scoter there, and I made one of the longest, wonderful shots I've ever seen in my life that I made. You're asked, but I shoot boss shells.
Okay.
I shoot 3-inch,
3
number
inch,
threes,
yeah.
and those number threes. I'm a surgeon.
Yeah.
Those 3 in bismuth is a killing metal.
Nice.
You know, I won't shoot anything else but boss. So shot all these birds, was happy, got them all registered, luckily, everything. Put them in the truck in the cooler, ready to take them home. That night, somebody breaks into the truck.
Oh, man, that's awful.
They took the birds.
They took the birds. They didn't take the $200 igloo, or not igloo. What's the
Yeti.
Yeti? $200
Oh, my God.
badass Yeti cooler, humongous.
Took
They didn't
the
take
birds.
it. Took the birds.
Wow.
Took the birds.
Wow.
Yeah, took all the birds.
Damn.
Took one guy. He didn't care about his shotgun that was with us. He left his shotgun in there. They took that.
Oh,
they took
no.
They took all my friend's Sika gear. But this is
no.
what's funny
That's
about
crazy.
that is they took all the Sika gear and left the Delta gear and the Realtree gear of my friend. It's like they knew what
They
Sika
knew what
was.
Sika was,
And
yeah.
they took
Yeah.
all the Sika gear.
So we're going
And
for that.
so they stole all those birds, and I had to replace. I had pictures of them. Thank God, and I
Yeah,
was
yeah.
able to register them. Me holding the bird cheesing and
Right.
and putting my card down with them, and I was fortunate that we do that every time when we come back. We
Right.
always take pictures right there.
Right.
And then, but yeah, they stole our birds, and they had busted out the window on the passenger side, and I was in the back.
Oh shit.
So it's cold, you know. We start heading back. You know, everybody's kind of in somber. Everybody's kind of pissed off.
Right.
You know, and we run into a blizzard
Oh no, with the window broken.
with the window broken.
Oh no.
We run into a blizzard. I got a piece of cardboard. I'm holding a piece of cardboard in there, and I'm talking snowflakes. You know, you see snowflakes in Texas.
Yeah,
what
yeah,
I'm used to.
yeah.
Little bitty tiny snowflakes. You're like, oh, these fuckers were this big. And I was like.
Of course, the luck.
And it's just they're coming after us. I'm like, guys, we're fixing to be stuck. So we found a hotel in Wyoming, and we stay in Wyoming for 3 days in Wyoming. I'm cussing Wyoming. I'm like, I hate this place. I hate this place. And then finally, you know, the guy who's with us, you know, he's just, you know, that guy. He's like, we're leaving. And I was like, the road. They had the bars over the
Oh,
road.
yeah,
We
blocked
couldn't
off,
go.
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And he's like, we're leaving. I was like, 10-4. We jump on him. Well, I'm in the back, and you know, and we're driving, trying to get to Laramie, and we're everybody's in the left lane, and I couldn't figure out why everybody was in the left lane. The whole right lane was clear. You could have drove 100 miles an
Right.
hour. I figured it out.
Why?
The wind blew a semi-truck that was standing still, not moving, it was just still, blew it from the right lane to the left lane, and then he corrected.
Oh man.
We were parked, and it goes, "Er."
Wow.
That's how hard the wind was blowing
Wow.
during that storm.
It's unbelievable.
Yeah, it's crazy.
That's
Yeah, it's
insane.
crazy. But yeah, they stole the birds, so I had to replace the birds, and luckily, you know, I went on some good hunts. And if I can give a word of advice to any hunter that is going to do the 41, shoot your weapon. Shoot your weapon a lot. Get comfortable behind your weapon. Know your leads. Know shoot one shell. Don't go shooting. You know, I see these guys shooting federal, and they'll shoot Hayaks, and they'll
piece of
shoot
shit,
Monarchs,
yeah.
and they'll shoot all this other stuff. And I'm like, shoot one shell. That way
Right.
you know what that shall do. Because doing the 41, sometimes you only have one chance.
Right.
And you better get that bird killed on that first chance. Because when we went to New York, I had one chance at the red-breasted merganser, only one.
Right.
And I was able to kill him. I had one chance at that surf scoter, I was able to kill him. You know, in Alaska, I had one chance at that harlequin.
Right.
And I was able to kill him. I mean, get behind your gun, get comfortable with your weapon. That way you know what you're doing.
Especially spending that much money and time and
Oh,
effort.
yeah. I mean,
yeah.
you got to think about it. We spent, if I had to guess, upwards of $12,000 on
Right.
the hunt to go with Charlie.
Right.
And it was, you spend all that money to go up there, and you're just blasting away and wasting ammo,
Right.
and nothing's falling. And those birds are hardy. Those birds are tough.
Right.
Yeah.
Those seabirds, they're
No
tough
joke.
birds.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're tough birds.
You said your second favorite duck was what? The red-breasted merganser?
Red-breasted merganser. I think that is just, I've tried to mount all 41.
Right.
And out of all my birds on the wall, that is the most.
Because I've seen it. You got how many you got right now? You got all of them. So
I got
far,
all of them
besides-
mounted. Yeah, I got all of them
Nice.
mounted that I've had. Even my sandhill crane looks like
Yeah.
a pterodactyl on my wall.
Those are huge.
But out of all the birds on my wall, that is the most conversation piece. People are like, "Wow, that's a unique looking bird. That's
Right.
a crazy looking bird because it's got the thin bill,
Yeah, yeah.
the
The mohawk
the
type,
mohawk
yeah.
with its green head, and it's just an amazingly beautiful bird."
What's the story behind that one? How'd that go? How'd that hunt take place?
Well, we went with Glenn Brandt, and what's funny is me and another guy you'll have on here pretty soon. He was like, we were telling him we need a red-breasted merganser, and he was like, okay, pick a number between 1 and 10. I picked 2. He ended up winning. He was like, okay. So he throws 1,000 Brandt decoys and 1 red-breasted merganser decoy over, and he's like, watch that decoy. I'm like, okay.
Thinking, come on, dude, one decoy?
Don't hurt
Yeah,
yourself.
right.
I got 1 decoy. This is mine. And then I'm sitting over there, and I'm watching this decoy, just trying not to fall asleep. 'Cause it's hot, and it's just, I don't know, unseasonably hot for New York, and I'm decked out because it was cold in the morning. And so we're shooting Brandt, and I've got my Brandt, and other guys are waiting for more Brandt to come in so they can shoot their Brandt. And I see this one duck way behind. And at first, he had a red-breasted merganser about 200 yards off the set, and he's like, "Why didn't you shoot at it?" I was like, "Why didn't you shoot a sniper rifle?
like,
Shoot
yeah,
a
right.
shotgun, for God's sakes!" And he's like, so I'm sitting there, I'm watching this one bird flying, and I'm like, "What is that? What is that?" And then my buddy goes, "That's a red-breasted merganser," and I said, "Yeah, it is." And he keeps flying, and it's a nice drake. And he keeps flying straight at us. And I said, okay, I'm not going to move. I got my gun ready, snap shoot this bird whenever he turns. And I keep waiting for him to turn. And finally, he just opens up and just comes to land in the decoy, just right beside that other decoy, just opens up.
That
And
was
by the
it?
time he saw me, it was over. Yeah, so my buddy looked at me and he goes, "That'll never happen again." I said, "I don't need it to. I haven't needed to. Once is good enough for me. I just need that one time."
Amen.
And you said the third bird you kind of touched base was the harlequin. Is that the one you're talking about that got stolen?
Yeah, that harlequin got stolen. That's a beautiful bird. When we went to Washington State, it was the first hunt we went on with this guy was an absolutely wonderful hunt. It was he put us on the harlequins. We was on the X.
Nice.
I mean, it was just harlequin after harlequin after harlequin, and then
They fly pretty fast. Huh?
oh, they're sizzlers. Like the first 2 birds I missed.
Yeah.
Yeah, and as soon as you shoot them, they hit the water and go under.
Right.
They
Right.
don't. You think you hit them and you didn't. They went straight under, and then so they're sizzling. And I got lucky and killed one, and then it's somebody else's turn to get in a layout boat. You hunt
Right.
2 man per layout boat, and then after that, he was like, "Okay, guys, we're going to kill Burroughs golden eye." I was like, "Okay." He drops us on the Lewis River, hot. So
Washington hot?
So hot.
Yeah.
So hot. That it was so cold that morning, and it ended up being hot. I'm dressed out in waders and everything. I'm panting. He didn't give us no water. We didn't have nothing like it. There was a couple times there's so many dead salmon in that water because they all
Right.
die off after they spawn. And I'm thinking, dysentery isn't that bad. I can have to live through it. And so we ended up, we ended up getting Burroughs golden eye after he showed up 5 hours later. And then the third day, he's like, "We're going to go after Greater Scott." All right. So this is where I learned not to be not to be king dingling, if I,
Right.
So we go out there, and he says, he puts us in the layout belt. Me and this guy I've never hunted with before, and he's a young guy, and he's a very funny guy. He's like us, good sense of humor, easy to hunt with.
Right.
And he puts us in the boat. He looks at me and he goes, "Okay, Smitty, don't panic when the birds come in." He said, "Just pick out one bird, pull the trigger, don't shoot anymore." Don't panic. I said, "Dude, this ain't my first day hunting. Me and this shotgun have met.
Right,
I mean? We know each other." And so we get up there, and it's. I'm like, "Don't panic. Like, whatever. Okay, I won't panic. I promise." I panicked. So we're laying in this layout boat, and it's dark, and the sun starts coming up, and where we're hunting on this place is just beautiful. It is just beyond words beautiful, and I'm just like, man, I'm so fortunate to be here. And I hear them, and it's like the loudest noise you've ever heard in your life of just ducks talking to each other.
Wow.
And they get up, and I'm thinking, I see them, and it's just a cloud. It's there's no other word to it, man. It's just a cloud
Of ducks.
of ducks, and I'm like, holy smokes! And I'm looking, and then he decoyed out in front of us, and what's the first thing they do? Light in. They start lighting in. I'm like, up, and then the buddy goes, "I don't know what to do." I said, "Find a drink and pull the trigger." And luckily, the limit was 3.
Nice.
Because I pulled the trigger, boom, and 3 fell. And I was like, "Oh my
like,
God."
whoops.
And I put my gun down. I was like, "I'm done."
That's funny.
Yeah, and I got my grader scalped that way. And then he had taken us out, and I don't know, the guide really irritated me. This guy, there was a lot of things with guides. I don't know, they doing the 41. If I see a bird and I need that bird, and your job is to put me on that bird.
Yeah,
I'm
right.
paying you to put me on that bird.
Right.
And I know that to some of these guys, 41 is silly and 41 is irritating because we want the bird. We're species hunting. We're not there to kill limits.
Right.
Right.
That's, if I want to kill limits, I'll go to one of my private
Yeah,
ponds that
right.
I have here. I'll take you guys. We'll kill limits all day.
Right.
I mean, that's not what I'm there for. I paid you to put me on as many species as you can get me on.
That you
because
don't
I
have.
I have a quest.
Right.
So I needed to replace my surf scoter, and there was one out there, probably, I don't know, he had to be 100 yards out. And I was talking to him. I said, "We can't shoot out of the boat if the boat's under power." He said, "No." I said, "Well, let's pull up,
Kinda
way
coast
far
it,
ahead
yeah.
of them, and let the wind blow us back into us." I said, "Everybody hunker down, and let the wind just blow us into
Right.
it." Like, he was like, "Okay, that sounds good." So we go way ahead of them, and then turns off the engine. Everybody hunkers down the boat. He said, "You gonna water swat that bird?" I said, "No, I'm gonna let it get up." And he said, "Okay." So we start doing it. And we get within 50 yards. He stands up and grabs the motor.
To turn it on?
I don't know what he was doing. He just stood up and grabbed it, and I went, "Oh!" And when them birds saw him, they cut out to leave, and I threw my gun up. He goes, "Too far!" Boom! I rolled it.
Nice.
I was like, oh, and I looked at him, and I'm trying to play big dog, even though it was a complete accident.
you're
And I'm like, "To what?" And he was like, and you can tell he was irritated with me. He's and reached over there and got his little net, scooped it up, and handed it to me. But the way he handed it to me was I could tell he was irritated.
Yeah.
And I was like, "We weren't under power. Like it's
funny.
fine." Funny things happen there. Is a friend of ours that was hunting with us. He dropped us off at these rocks. He's like, "Okay, guys, bail out." And my buddy didn't check. He bailed out the side. There was no bottom there. He went up to his neck, and we're rolling, laughing. We're dying laughing. He's like, "You son of a bitch is going to help me get out of this water? Y'all going to laugh?" We're like, "We're going to laugh for 30 minutes before we help you get out."
That's us. That's how we are.
There was no bottom. He was kicking his little feet like
That's
that.
so funny. One of the sections, kind of how we did in the first episode, it's kind of a rapid fire. So I'm gonna ask you some rapid fire questions.
Sure.
So, what is your favorite duck species overall?
Favorite duck species, honestly, in my opinion, buffleheads.
Nice.
Buffleheads. I think they're a beautiful bird. I think they're an underrated bird. I think buffleheads are, when you see them out and on a water, and they come in and they light. They're just like a beacon. They're so
Right.
white and so beautiful. It's I think they're a very underrated, beautiful bird.
What's the most overrated duck?
My opinion, teal.
Teal?
In my opinion. I mean, slippery little fuckers.
Yeah. For sure.
I see guys hunting teal, and I mean, I enjoy them. I like shooting them, but they are an overrated bird to me.
Right. So you've shot, almost U-41, but what is your bucket list bird? I mean, I guess you only have, what, 2 left?
I have
left?
I have 4 left.
4 left?
I have the tundra swan. I have the black duck, which I'm hoping to do. Hopefully we can go
for
get
sure.
that. The fulvous whistling duck, and then the lesser goose, which I'm going to hunt with this year to get my lesser. So I'll be down to 3. My bucket list bird is the tundra swan.
Yeah.
I mean, that is just a beautiful bird. I got to see some in flight, and they're just like a 747 landing.
Right.
I mean, it's right over the
Huge.
top of you, beautiful. In New York, I got to see a muted swan land right beside me.
Oh,
I
wow.
mean, just whoosh, right beside me.
Wow.
Beautiful.
Yeah, that's nice. What gun and shell? I mean, you kind of touched base on the shell combo. But
I
what gun?
shoot a left-handed Benelli, and I say this, guys, if you're left-handed, spend the money.
Right.
You'll never be as accurate if you're left-handed if you shoot a right-handed gun. Spend your money, shoot the left-handed gun, because I shoot a lot of sporting clays.
Right.
I do a lot of shotgun sports, and I'm an 80s shooter for sure. I can shoot in the 80s
Right.
on any given day. Low 90s on a good day, mid 90s on a great day.
Right.
And I have never been as accurate as when I started just shooting a left-handed shotgun.
I mean, because I'm sure you started out with a right-handed gun.
I started out with a right-handed
Yeah.
shotgun, and I got proficient with it. But once
Right.
I learned, if you do your studies on left-handed guns, the barrel's turned your way. It's canted. It's on your shot. It throws the shell away from your face
Right.
instead of across your face.
yeah.
And it's there's a lot to a left-handed gun, except for
They're more
when
expensive.
you have a premature in the stand.
Oh yeah.
So I had just bought this left-handed Benelli. I'd only been shooting right-handed guns. And I've shot it, made sure I loved it, and I did. So we had to go on a sandhill crane hunt. Went with Cadillac.
Okay.
Great outfitter. Get in there, they set up the stand and everything, and I'm sitting there and I got my gun in the air. And he said, "All right, guys, load him up." Load him up. He's giving his safety speech. Keep your fingers off the triggers, blah, 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 blah. Make sure you're shooting, got your gun downwind. It's dark. He says, "All right, guns on safety." And I reach down there, and I'm pushing my safety, which on a right-handed gun, the safety goes this way.
Oh, yeah.
Left-handed gun, the safety goes this way. I'm pushing like hell, wondering why it won't work, and my finger slips off the safety, right on the trigger. Boom! Who the hell done that? I was like, I'm going to sit in the truck now. Luckily, they let me stay after I explained what had happened, but my buddy looks over at me and he goes, "I can't believe you had a premature ejaculation."
It happens. That sounds like something I would do.
Yeah.
That's funny. Public or private?
Private. I hate fighting people for a spot. I hate people flying through my spread. That's a good.
Yeah.
I'm volatile.
Yeah.
Hey, at least you're
you
honest.
fly through my spread, I'm going to be pissed.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Sure.
Plus, you don't know the actions of other people, that you don't know what
Yeah,
they do.
that's-
I've been fortunate enough to be around people who knew what they were doing. Like you guys. But you do get the people who've never been duck hunting before. They don't know, the right choke, the right ammo.
Right.
I caught a guy one time on public land when I needed a wood duck, and I went down to a public gun. This guy had 7.5s in his guns, in his duck gun, and I had lead, and I'm like, "You're going to jail, buddy, if they catch you." And I was like, you try to educate them without being a smart ass or
right.
trying to act like you know everything, which I don't.
Right.
I don't.
I mean, yeah.
There's a lot of things these old timers will. I don't know everything.
Right.
So.
What is one hunt that you would like to redo?
If I could redo a hunt right now, it would be the hunt with Riley McHugh in Boston, Massachusetts. That hunt was a fantastic hunt with Riley. On the first day, he had us on the X. He was struggling the day after that, but he put the work in. I was able to get a lot of species with Riley. I got on that species. I got my common eider, I got my white winged scoter, my black scoter, my old squall, and something else I believe. But I was able to shoot a lot of birds on the X. You know, that first day I was laying birds in the water. My buddy says, "Dude, you better stop. You about to be out of birds." And I was like, "Oh shit, I am." I had one bird left. I was like, I put my gun down, and I didn't even have my eider yet. That first day, I was putting ducks on their back, and then after I did that, I was trying to get my surfy. I couldn't get my surfy out there, but I ended up getting a nice common eider, and he had us on the X. The third day, I had a chance at a black duck, but it went out of my hand, and I was shooting behind it the whole time. I was like,
and that's the one
that's the one chance I had at it, and I wasn't able to foreclose on it, and now I've got to go back and
hopefully we'll get one next year.
Yeah, hopefully,
for sure.
Yeah.
This little section here is just stories and struggles. What's the funniest moment you've had in the field?
Oh, by far.
There's too many, I know, but
just by far. So it was me and a couple friends of mine. We went out to my tank to hunt, and I had laid down at my blind, and I was laying there, and my dog wouldn't come near me, just stand there and look at me like this. Wouldn't come near me, and I was like, "Get over here and lay down." I'm
come on.
yelling at my dog, "Get your ass over!" So she'd come over to me, and she'd lay down, she'd walk away. And I'm like, I'm not fighting with you today. I would stick your ass in the truck.
Today.
And then I got kids set up over there, and I'm watching these kids, and they're I call them kids. They're 20 years old. You know what I mean? I got them set up. They've hunted with me before. They know what I want. Know what Make sure you try to just shoot drakes. If you want to shoot a hen, that's fine. Just don't hens kill everything.
Right.
You know what I mean? I'm not above shooting hens by no means. But just fill your limit. Don't shoot anymore. Make sure that I try to let them know. I usually look at the book, try to let them know. Okay, we can shoot this many this many this. Watch your birds.
Right.
Because last thing I want to do is get in trouble, and because I have. So I'm laying there, and I don't know how it didn't bite me. I'm laying there like this, and I keep feeling.
Oh.
And I'm like on my back, and I'm like. And it would stop, and then come on, like, the hell's on me? And finally, I turned around and I looked, and it was a rattlesnake tip.
Oh man!
I like to shit my pants.
Yeah.
I was like, I'm so stuck. And finally, I was like, okay, what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna start rolling. So I'm just gonna start rolling, and that's what I did. I rolled, and that snake was like, "Thank God he got off of me." And it had no chance to bite me. The second funniest thing is when.
No wonder your dog was acting up, though.
Yeah, your dog didn't want no part of that snake.
Smart dog.
Thanks for the heads up. Yeah. Buddy of mine, when we were in Alaska, and everybody was puking off the trucks, off the end of the boats. Everybody was puking. I see him with a bucket, swirling the bucket in the water, and everybody's going like this on the bucket, and I'm like, "What's going on over there?" He was like, "He had to take a poop on the bucket." I was like, I could not imagine we were laughing so hard. He had to poop in front of his guide and the guy hunting with him on the boat, and there's no place to hide. You're just pooping in the open. And then, the 100th time I busted my ass on them slippery rocks, and you try not to laugh at you got to laugh at yourself on these hunts. Arkansas. When I went to Arkansas, your neck of the woods. I went to Wynn, Arkansas on just a whim. These guys told a bunch of my friends that they had great mallards, and I needed a speck.
Oh, okay, yeah.
I needed a speck, and I said, "Well, what's the chance of me running into a speck? I don't need a mallard. I don't care about shooting mallards. You know, I will. I mean, don't get me wrong. If it flies, it dies.
Facts.
But I said, I just need a speck." And he was like, "Well, I don't know. We might be able to get you." whatever. It's like, okay. He said, do you mind jumping in with people you don't know? No, I'm a people person.
Yeah, yeah.
I jump in with anybody. I fit.
Right.
And then we jumped in that Arkansas hunt and went up there, drove, got there, and these guys were excited about this flooded timber hunt. I went out the next morning, and I had definitely drank too much. And I'm sitting in the blind going, I don't know how I'm going to do this. I don't know how I'm going to do this. And I don't even have my gun loaded. I'm like, I don't even know how I'm going to do this. And then the guide, he's such a great guide. He was like, hey, guys, this is Danny. He's doing 41. He needs a spec. So if a spec comes in, please let him have it, and then y'all can go, blah, 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 blah. Everybody's clapping. Everybody's, just real, like, teammate.
Yeah.
I'm like,
Nice.
I need some teammates. I need some hype guys like this on my team because they try to get me to miss. And then the first damn goose out of thing spec come across. Boom, I pick up my gun and roast it. It hits the ground. I'm like, thank God I unload my gun. And then I felt better after a while. And then they were shooting geese. And this one guy asked me, he's like, you're a snap shooter. And I said, yeah, I'm a snap shooter. I pick it up. Boom.
Yeah.
You ain't gonna get no better than that. So I picked it up, bam, and he was like, I shoot pretty fast too. And he said, next goose one comes in, you want to put $10 on it? I was
Nice.
I was like, yeah, let's put $10 on the next goose. I said, you call him, we'll shoot him. So we were telling everybody in the blind. Everybody was like in the blind. And then here it comes, a little Rossi goose. Little white Rossi goose comes in, cuts sideways right in front of us, and he goes 1, 2, 3, and I pulled up, boom, and I shot it way before he did. It buckled and hit the ground. I was like, give him my $10.
Run me that
And I gave him back his $10. It was fun. It was a great shot. So I get back, and everybody looks like they've been slapped away from the table for farting. They're all. I'm like, what's the matter? They were like, there's no flooded timber. There's no ducks. I was like, I had a great time. I killed a limit of geese and everything else. They killed no mallards on the mallard hunt, but I killed the shit out of goose. It was a great hunt for me, not so much for them. And then the Arkansas hunt was funny as well because all I did was giggle the whole time.
Yeah.
Because they get mad, I get happy. So.
Yeah. What do you think the toughest hunt that you've ever been on was?
Alaska.
Yeah.
Alaska's the working man's hunt. Alaska's tough. Alaska's you're out there and those seas and those swells and the cold, the bitter cold. It's a different cold.
Right.
It's like a mix of wet and dry, and it just hits you. I mean, you got so much on, and that's another thing that I'd like to touch on if you don't mind.
Yeah.
If you're going to go on these hunts and they're going to be in cold weather places, go to the shooting range and put your duck oven on. Put your
Right.
stuff on.
Yeah.
Because your mount changes, your point of view changes, everything changes. When you throw that shotgun up, instead of being here with your length of pull,
Right.
you're out here now because you're duck hunting.
Yeah.
Practice
Right.
the way you're going to hunt. Practice sitting down.
Right.
Practice go out there and break clay sitting in a chair.
Right. Or jumping on a trampoline.
Yeah. Practice shooting, puking off the side of a boat. I tell everybody doing this 41, you've spent your hard-earned money on these guides and stuff, and some of them will put you on the bird. A lot of them want you to be successful.
Right.
But in order to be successful, you have to do your part.
Right.
And if you're just out there, just hanging around, not practicing, not putting your gun, mounting your gun, doing all these things, making sure that your mount's the same, making sure, like I tell everybody, the most common cause of a miss, in my opinion, the most common cause of missing a duck is stopping your weapon. Mm-hmm. So if I throw up on a bird and I pull, I'm following this bird, and this bird's moving, let's say 25, 30 miles an hour,
Right.
and he's moving, and I get my beat out in front of him, and I stop and pull the trigger, I have automatically lost my entire lead on that bird.
Right.
But if I follow through like a baseball hitter and I follow all the way through and boom, I keep pulling, keep my barrel moving, and keep my barrel moving, I have gained it with him, and my shots, my shot string is going to be where it needs to be.
Right.
Practice, keeping your gun moving, stuff like that. Both eyes open. I see a lot of people close one eye and shoot. I'm like, both eyes open. You see what's going on.
Any travel gear scouting nightmare stories?
Travel gear. I left my waders at home.
That sounds like some stuff he does.
Yeah, I left my waders at home and pissed the guy off.
Says the guy who don't bring
The
waders.
guy was so mad at me. He was so mad at me. He was like, "How you come to a duck hunt without waders?" Okay,
You, like,
excuse the hell out of me.
like you meant to do it.
No, I didn't mean to do it.
Where was that hunt at?
That was in Washington State.
Yeah. So what do you do? Go buy some?
Yeah, I had to go buy some cheap waders. And then, and the first day I used them, they had a hole in them. I was like, Jesus Christ.
Yeah,
But you get what you pay
Don't
for.
cheap out on waders.
Yeah. I hunt sick of waders now. I tell you what, speaking of waders, if you don't mind.
Go ahead.
I have hunted in some extreme places with my Sika waders, and I've cut them. I've everything that's happened in my Sika waders has been my doing. Just basically just tore holes in them, and I send them back to Sika, and they send them to me 100% fixed with no charge.
Wow.
Yeah, and I have wrecked my Sika gear, and I call them up and I go, look, I got a hole. All right, send it to us. When they say guaranteed to fix,
They fix it.
It's not a lie.
Nice.
It's not a lie. I've mailed it off to them. They send me the fill out the little paperwork
Yeah.
online. They send me a ticket. I slap it on the box, send the box to them. Send them in a little box. They send it back
Nice.
with a little Sika bag and little hat. I mean,
Nice.
first class.
Yeah, nice.
Can't beat that.
Real quick, I want to touch base. Shout out to our sponsors. We have CNC Calls. They make these custom calls. Here he's out of Illinois. If y'all want to hit him up, CNC Calls. I'll link him to the video.
They got acrylic, wood, goose calls, whistles, anything you want.
This call here is actually going to be a giveaway. Once Fowl 41 hits 500 followers, we're going to be giving this away.
Instagram or Facebook?
Instagram.
Instagram.
Yeah, so y'all, tune in.
I gotta
follow
admit,
along.
I blew that call earlier. I
pretty good, right?
really like
Yeah,
clean.
yeah.
Very clean.
Tag your friends, let's get to 500 followers so we can do a giveaway here. Also, let's shout out KT Customs. They make custom paracord work. They're making us all duck lanyards. They make gunslings, anything paracord, they make it.
We'll plug some pictures in.
Yeah, we'll add some pictures in so you can see. Also, shout out to CW Waterfowl Taxidermy out of Arkansas. Colton, he's a diehard waterfowl guy. He's a cool dude. Tell him Fowl 41 sent you get a discount. He's a good dude. He's a good guy. I mean,
If I could, I would like to give a shout out real quick.
ahead.
I'd like to shout out to Becky's Wildlife Taxidermy
There you
in
go.
Belmead.
Yeah.
She has done all 41 for me, and it is amazing. They look, every bird I have not had a bad mount from her. They look like they're going to fly off the wall. I give her
Nice.
full range. I'm like, make it look
Real, yeah.
real. And she, best side, whatever. She's like, well, let's do this. She's already come up with because I can't, my real estate's ran out at the house.
Right, yeah,
so,
yeah.
we've already come up with a good tundra swan mount with it swimming with
Nice.
the metal grass coming up,
Oh,
holding
nice,
it up.
yeah.
Yeah, it's such a nice mount.
Nice.
And then she's done all 41 for me, and it's been phenomenal. So.
also want to shout you out. This is Danny from the first episode. We said shout out Danny. Like when he Taekwondo, this is the man. Thanks for letting us do it here, man. I mean,
Oh, yeah,
appreciate
this
it.
is your
Yeah,
home.
Couldn't do it without you.
Yeah,
That's
this
right,
is.
man.
I mean, consider this your home too. You're welcome to
This
use
is
it.
awesome. Let's get back real quick. What is something you wish more duck hunters understood or did differently?
I wish a lot more duck hunters would realize that we need more duck hunters. You need to teach the younger people. It's something that I try to do. I try to take a kid hunting. I
Right.
try to take somebody, and I do a thing that's unique. Well, to me, if I've never hunted with you before and you kill a duck in front of me, you automatically get a dive bomb sticker from me to put
Nice.
on your gun.
Nice.
And,
I like that.
And I've told everybody I'm a dive bomb whore.
Nice.
So I love dive bomb.
Nice.
If it's dive bomb, I own it. But
Right.
I give the kids a dive bomb sticker to put on their gun.
Nice.
Like I killed a bird
Yeah, yeah.
with this guy, and they seem to enjoy it. Take a kid hunting.
Absolutely.
Teach a kid that there's more than PS5s and Xbox and
Please,
YouTube,
please,
and
please.
there's
iPads and
Yeah, we all need more of that.
podcasts. Yeah, who needs that?
Who needs a podcast, right?
But take a kid hunting and also show them that there's something else out there. Take a kid deer hunting.
Right.
Let a kid kill a doe. I see a lot of duck hunters that are greedy with their tanks, and a lot of hunters that are greedy with their deer hunting property. I'll take anybody that wants to go,
Yeah.
It's not my
Absolutely.
bird.
Right.
And I want you to kill, like last year, me and you talked before. I had a brand new kid who had never hunted that much before. He killed an old squaw on my tank.
Wow.
Yeah,
Central Texas, by the way.
Central Texas killed an old squaw on my tank. And, this kid, to see the look on his face or to see the look on the kids I was showing you, killed his first canvasback.
Yep.
And to see the look on them kids' face and their daddy's face when they just, I did it. It's a reward that can't be given, to anybody else. Take a damn kid hunting. Take him out there in the field.
Danny, tell him the story why you didn't make that morning hunt.
Well,
Danny had a little too much fun.
what happened was there was a bottle of mezcal tequila and it called me a name.
To kill you.
Yeah, and I drank the entire bottle with a couple of friends, and then I didn't make that.
And what
I
they
made
say-
the hunt.
And what they say, tequila
We don't
makes your
condone
clothes fall
drinking.
off.
That's right. I answered the door butt ass naked with my hunting party. What? He's like, "Are we going hunting?" You are.
We are not.
I went on the hunt. It was so funny. I went in the hunt, slept in the truck. I was asleep in the truck. I couldn't make it. There was no way.
I've done that many times in
Yeah,
Arkansas.
there was no way.
It comes not. We stay up all night drinking and having fun because we know we're gonna get up 4 o'clock in the morning or 3 o'clock.
You
in the
don't even
morning.
go to sleep.
Yeah, we have not
I did
sleeping.
in Arkansas.
Pulling all-nighter.
That
We
night-
don't sleep, and
No, that night in Arkansas when I killed that speck, we had been drinking. Me and Colton.
Yeah.
Me and Colton, we drank an entire bottle of mezcal tequila, and I was like, if I go to sleep, I'm not,
You're not
getting
getting
up.
up.
You're not getting up.
So I just stayed there. I was in my sick gear with a gun in the living room. Just
I ended up
Wait.
going to the truck and falling asleep in the back seat till about 3:30. They come knocking on my window, and I go, "All right, it's time to roll." I was like, "Mm-mm."
Let me know how it goes.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Chris,
Good luck.
Poor Chris had to take him out
not
there
too
and
bad.
hunt him, and he come beating on the window. Boom, boom, boom. We killed an old squaw. I was like, oh well,
You're probably
cool.
you're full of shit.
No, it's beautiful. And I can also, if you don't mind, can I tag that
Yeah.
picture to this episode so I can see it?
Yeah.
I mean, because you don't shoot those around here. for
No,
sure.
it was a
No.
juvenile male, but it was a Drake for sure, and I couldn't believe it. It was a great. But my tank that I have, I've been fortunate to have the landowners that like me, respect me. I if they need me to do any work for them,
yeah.
I'll go do work for them and stuff. And
sure.
he's a great guy. I have a few tanks that are good for this, few tanks that do that. But at the end of the day, like we were talking about earlier, get a kid out there, get
Right.
a kid out there, let him know that there's more to do than just
Yeah.
inside the house of video games and stuff. You might open up a whole new world for them, like
Yeah, I mean, like us, for instance, he opened it up for me wide open, and now, I mean, man, sometimes I stay up too late thinking about it. I can't sleep because I'm thinking
Yeah,
about it.
yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like,
I
that's
used
all
to-
I'm thinking about.
It used to be a battle trying to get him out of bed.
Now,
I tell him a couple years ago, I was like, "All right, we're gonna be here this time. Be there." I wake up, no
I'm
answer.
sick.
Like I'm getting in the truck. Text him again. No
hey, how many
answer.
times did I bail last year?
Hey, first time ever, 0.
0.
that's the passion. And see me, I work all the time. I work, from my first job, and then I own the school, and I do the school, which is a great passion, a great love in my life, is to be able to work with kids every
Right.
day of the week. Help kids be better than they were yesterday. But and then I go to the gym and I try to work out at the gym every day as much as I can.
Right.
I try to hit the gym every day. And it becomes a rut. And then I become complacent.
Right.
Going to these places gets me out of that. They get me, to see Mount St. Helens.
Yeah, I mean,
To see
yeah.
the Bering Sea, to see New York. Someplace you never thought you'd be in your life.
Right, no, yeah.
Anahuac.
Right.
Going to Anahuac. Or going to Choke Canyon.
Right.
Being that close. It's absolutely phenomenal that there's a whole other world out there. You're driving through Tennessee, you're driving through all these other places, like Oregon. Oregon's one of the most beautiful places I've ever been in my life, just driving through it.
Beautiful.
Yeah, and Washington is amazingly beautiful. The drive from here to Boston is outrageously beautiful, and you're thinking, I'd have never seen this had I not
Right.
got
Thought
out of
about
my
it, yeah.
box. Yeah.
And I don't know, are we plan on driving, or are we going to fly next year? To Rhode Island.
Oh, we're flying.
I know, riding with
flying.
you ain't.
Yeah, it's only a 2-hour flight.
I
so we'll
can't
be
handle
fine.
you for that long.
No.
But
that long.
kind of like you were touching though, just that Choke Canyon is different from what we're used to. Being around here, I've had the privilege. I'm down in San Antonio now, but I've had the privilege to hunt South Texas, and it's like opening up a whole new chapter down there, compared to hunting here and hunting down there. It's, I mean, Clay had the privilege to come down and hunt with me. It's just in Texas, it's crazy.
I had a funny story about Choke Canyon. So we get to Choke Canyon. I kayaked to a place we called Model Duck Island.
Okay.
And I needed a model duck. And I needed a blue wing teal, and I ended up getting both. And so we paddle out there, and there's a sign. I hang all my shit on this sign. I don't care what the sign says. I don't care. I go out there and I'm chest deep decoying. Getting my spread together. I got this over here, and walk out of the water. I'm like, that don't look good. I splash back out there and, got this situated. All right, got my mojo set up and everything, splash decoys. Sitting there, didn't have a dog. So I'm like, I guess I'm the dog. So blue wing teal comes in, full moon on his face. I mean, beautiful, full plumed. Boom, smoke him, hits the water. I'm like, yes, I run out there. I'm splashing, so happy I got my blue wing teal and splash back up to the thing, and then a couple more blue wing teal. I cut them just for nostalgia, just because they messed up. And then ended up cutting my model duck and got my model duck, and that was a great day when I got my model duck. We actually put a stock on a model duck that was phenomenal.
Nice.
But I had my shit hanging on this sign.
I was going to say, what did the sign say?
It said, beware of alligators.
Oh my gosh.
It said, swim at your own risk, beware of alligators. I actually have a picture of it. And I was like, shit. And then we go out there, so we get in the boat, and we're like, beware of alligators. Dinosaurs. I mean, dinosaurs, 12, 13, 15 footers. Yeah, out there, just humongous. Heads this big. I'm like, for God's sakes, ignorance is bliss. I mean, we were driving around just seeing them. I mean,
Who'd you go with?
Chris.
She said, Chris, go get the ducks. It's your turn.
He's got a video on his phone where I tried to grab one under the boat, and his first words are, Smitty's fixing to die.
We actually got lucky last.
Trim up speed.
We both shot a model duck down there in South Texas. It was pretty fun. I want a pintail for sure this year. How long have I been talking about pintail?
This boy.
Got you this year? Pintails hit my tank. They hit
pintail and bubblehead is my probably top two.
I got you.
What is the first duck you ever shot? Do you remember?
Mallard Drake. This first duck. I was so excited. When I was a kid with my dad, I used to miss, and I guess this bird was just the special ed bird because I missed. He flew around. I missed. He flew around. I missed, and I reloaded. No, he kept flying around. So I guess there was something in that decoy he liked. That spread and God's will. And he come around a little too low, a little too quick, and boom! I shot him. My dad goes, "You got him!" And I think my dad was happier than me. My dad was belly laughing. He was like, 3 boxes later, you got him.
You remember yours, Sean?
First duck.
I think I know what it is.
First duck. I want to say
Scott.
It wasn't the mallards that you mounted for me. I want to say the first.
I know what it was. We jump in those tanks back behind the house.
Redheads?
Yeah.
I was going to say that's
Oh,
about,
you said a redhead.
That's probably my
that's
first
all
too.
that was on that pond. It seemed like was the redheads.
Oh yeah.
Now I need one for the 41.
That's a beautiful bird.
It really is. I mean, it's slept on.
Bird. Yeah.
Everybody hates those.
Everybody sleeps on redheads. They're beautiful.
That's the only
They're
band I've ever
beautiful
shot was a redhead.
Oh, yeah. Have you
first-
shot a band, Denny?
Huh?
Have you shot a band yet?
Not one.
No?
Oh, wow.
But I was with a guy who shot 2 in a row.
Oh, what are the odds?
We were brant hunting, and you have a 70% chance of shooting a brant with a band on it because they're so banded.
Really?
And yeah, they're so banded. And my buddy, I went boom, boom, I wasted 2 birds. He went boom, boom, wasted 2 birds, and I could see the jewelry. And I was like, I've been with people who have shot bands, and but I personally have never shot a band.
You shot yours here, right?
Lake Whitney.
Yeah.
What was it on? What species was it on?
Oh, buffalo head. Buffalo Drake, my first ever duck.
I'll be damned. I've never heard of a buffalo.
Banded bufflehead? No, it's a
not
redhead.
banded. Oh, you said the band?
Yeah.
Oh, band was a redhead.
Yeah.
I'll tell you about my first bird.
What's
First
the
bird was a
buffalo?
bufflehead. Shot it at when I first started hunting, I was hunting with my brother. And all I had was a little single shot Rossi 410.
Rossi.
Was it here in Whitney?
Rossi, gotta
Right
love
on
the
Lake
Rossi.
Whitney and over by Steiner Valley.
Nice.
That's the only bird we saw all morning.
Nice.
Landed right in the middle of the spread. Smoked him on the water. 'Cause I couldn't shoot.
Yeah.
I never shot anything
Right.
flying. I've missed so many times with that little 410.
And what, yours was redhead, huh?
Yeah.
Well, same, yeah.
time.
Yeah. Danny, what was the most miserable hunt you think you've been on? Where you're like, you know what, fuck this, I don't even want to do this.
Most miserable hunt that I ever been on in my life was Washington. It was miserable. It stunk. The river had all the dead salmon in it, and it's just imagine a toilet. And that's it's been used way too much, like a porta potty. That's exactly what it smelled like on that river, and it was so cold at night and so cold in the morning, and in the day it was so hot because you're so bundled up. You're just peeling clothes
Right.
off. I was damn near naked in my waders, and I'm just like, I don't even care anymore. And the hotter it gets, the more that fish.
Yeah, it stings.
You know,
Yeah, oh yeah, I can't even imagine.
that was a miserable hunt on the Lewis River. It was awful.
Man, I'm Arkansas last year or year before last. Holding my waders, got out there at 4 o'clock. We walked a mile. Got out there, started setting up, started feeling some water in my leg. I was like, oh my God, no. Bro, and it was the coldest day I've ever hunted in Arkansas. It was like 15 degrees. I was like shivering, freezing. I'm not walking in that mile back by myself.
No.
So I stood there. I took my waders off and I literally just stood in the water.
With no waiters?
Yep, no waders.
Might as well.
I got up on a little log, had them upside down, tried to get the water out. It was miserable.
Why am I not
My
surprised?
hands were frozen. I couldn't shoot. My hands,
Why am I
really
not
couldn't move.
surprised that that's something that happened
And
to
guess
you?
how
though?
many birds we shot?
Zero.
Didn't even have one in some hole.
Oof.
Yeah.
Happens.
What about you, pal? What's a miserable hunt?
Probably when we hunted Cade's family pond in Abbott. That was cold.
Yeah.
I'll say, he's been on bangers pretty much every hunt.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I'm like, I've
You've
just
been
been
spoiled.
really lucky.
You weren't with us though when we shot that 4-man out there, were you?
Yeah.
No, I think it was me, Katie,
Maybe.
you, Anna, and her brother.
No, it was 6-man.
6-man, yeah.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
No, I don't
Widgeon.
think I was there that time.
Widgeon and ringers.
Yeah.
That
Yeah,
was
the funnest hunt. One of the funnest.
It was just the cold.
Isaiah's
The hunt
first
was
hunt,
fun.
too.
It was
Yeah,
just the
that's
cold.
That's the first when my dog retrieved her first duck.
Now she's more.
Yeah,
of a
no, I
dog.
don't-
Yeah, now,
think-
now she's an apartment dog.
Happens.
She's an apartment dog now.